Manipur, a land cradled by hills, yet centered around a fertile valley. For centuries, this small northeastern state of India has been home to a mosaic of peoples, each community with its own language, customs, and faith. But at the heart of Manipur's population lies a simple truth. The people of the valley, the Meitei, form the majority, while the surrounding hills are inhabited by tribes like the Kuki and the Naga. This story is about them, their beliefs, their coexistence, their differences, and how geography itself has shaped their destinies. The Imphal Valley, a lush plain ringed by mountains, has long been the cultural center of Manipur. Here live the Meitei, who make up around 2/3 of the state's population. The Meitei are an ancient people, with their roots stretching back to the kingdom of Kanglaipak, one of the oldest monarchies in South Asia. For centuries they developed their own script, Meitei Mayak, their own martial art, Thangta, and their own spiritual traditions, known as Sanamahi religion. But the 18th century brought transformation. Under the reign of King Pamhiba, also called Garib Niwaz, Hinduism was adopted as the state religion. Rituals from Vaishnavism, particularly the worship of Lord Krishna and Vishnu, reshaped the valley's cultural life. Temples were built, dances evolved, like the graceful Ras Lila, which portrays episodes from Krishna's life. Even today, the majority of Meitei follow Hinduism. Shrines to Krishna and Radha stand alongside household altars of Sanamahi, the ancient household deity. For the Meitei, religion is layered, Hindu faith woven into older indigenous beliefs. Yet the Meitei identity is not only about faith, it is about the valley itself. Farming, polo, believed to have originated here, and a deep literary tradition have long sustained their cultural pride. The valley is their home, their heartland, and in that fertile bowl, their numbers have grown. Surrounding the valley rise green hills, and in these highlands live the tribes, one of the largest groups being the Kuki. The Kukis are a broad community, with many clans under their umbrella. Historically, they practiced animism, a belief system centered on spirits of nature, ancestors, and the unseen world. Every mountain, every river, every forest was alive with spiritual power. Rituals and sacrifices were essential to maintain balance with these forces. But in the 19th and 20th centuries, a new faith arrived, the faith of the missionaries. Christianity spread rapidly among the Kukis. Today, the majority of Kuki people are Christians, with Baptist and Presbyterian churches dotting the hillsides. Sundays are sacred. Hymns echo in the valleys, choirs gather, and community ties are reaffirmed. Christianity also transformed their society. Education, healthcare, and written literature were fostered by missionary schools. Yet traces of their old animistic traditions remain. Festivals tied to harvest cycles, oral stories of spirits and ancestors, and a deep respect for the forest. The Kukis are also known for their resilience. Their history includes episodes of conflict and survival, most famously the Kuki Rebellion of 1917-1919 against British colonial forces. This struggle is remembered as a symbol of their courage and unity. Today, the Kuki people maintain a vibrant identity, blending Christian values with tribal traditions, rooted firmly in the hills they call home. Alongside the Kukis live another major group, the Naga tribes. The Nagas are not one people but many. In Manipur, several Naga tribes live across the northern and eastern hills, linked by kinship with Nagas in Nagaland and Myanmar. Traditionally, like the Kukis, the Nagas practiced animism. They believed in life after death, in village guardian spirits, and in rituals that tied the community to the land. Their traditional villages were tightly knit, with councils, warriors, and elaborate customs of dress and ornament. But like the Kukis, the Nagas too encountered missionaries. And again, Christianity spread widely. Today, the majority of Nagas are Christians, especially Baptists, who make up one of the largest church communities in all of Northeast India. Churches are not just places of worship. They are centers of education, community decisions, and cultural identity. Christianity gave the Nagas a unifying faith, but their traditions, like warrior festivals, folk songs, and weaving, continue to survive in new forms. Politically and culturally, the Nagas have also sought to preserve a distinct identity, often emphasizing their ties beyond Manipur's borders. Yet in daily life, their connection to the hills, to their ancestral villages, remains unbroken. To understand why the Meitei live in the valley and the Kukis and Nagas in the hills, we must look at geography. The Imphal Valley is fertile, ideal for wet rice cultivation. For centuries, it supported dense populations, centralized kingdoms, and settled agriculture. That is why the Meitei built their civilization here. The hills, on the other hand, are rugged and forested. Here, shifting cultivation or jum farming was practiced. Communities were smaller, scattered, and organized around clans and villages. For the Kukis and Nagas, the hills were both home and fortress, a landscape that allowed them autonomy and cultural preservation. Thus, valley and hills not only shaped where people lived, but also how they lived, what they believed, and how they governed themselves. Religion is often seen as a divider, but in Manipur, it also shows resilience and adaptation. The Meitei embraced Hinduism, but never abandoned their ancient Sanamahi traditions. The Kukis and Nagas accepted Christianity, but still carry echoes of their animistic worldviews. Valley temples and hill churches may seem worlds apart, but they are both places of community, belonging, and continuity. Even in times of conflict, festivals, songs, and rituals remind the people of Manipur that they share a land, even if their paths differ. Manipur is more than maps and borders. It is a living mosaic. The Meitei, guardians of the valley, heirs to an ancient kingdom. The Kuki and Naga, children of the hills, keepers of traditions transformed by faith. 2/3 of the population live in the valley, mostly following Hinduism. The rest, spread across the hills, follow Christianity or hold to older animistic beliefs. Together they form the story of Manipur, a story of valleys and hills, temples and churches, old gods and new faiths. And though their histories may differ, they remain bound by the land that cradles them all.